Disclaimer, whatever I share does not constitute financial advice. It is solely based on my opinion on what is right or wrong. So please do your own due diligence. If you're liking the content so far, please hit the like and subscribe button, as your simple gesture will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. If you are interested to find out more about property-related matters, please find all the social media handles I am on, or you can just directly reach out to me on WhatsApp. Separately, I have also set up a Telegram group at the start of the year so that we can have a discussion that we as agents are not allowed to do so online, which is to talk. So if you are interested to get into a community that talks about everything under the sun about property, please scan the QR code, or for the boomers out there, I have pasted the link in my description. We're going to close the group invitation in probably a month or 2 times. So head over and I will see you there. Now back to the video. Hello everyone, this is Clinton from Pocket View in our second episode of Walking With Me at, this time round, Lentor. Now, our second episode was meant to be at Thomson View in my first series of Manifesting Thomson View Part 1, but that was done about 3-4 months ago, and I thought it wasn't right because the court case was still ongoing. So out of respect to the owners, and I also thought through it, it's also better for them to leave the development before I start to show, Thomson View itself. So yeah, here we are. And because today it's a bit of an off day for me, I just dropped my kids to my parents' place here. Obviously, for those of you who know me long enough, you know my parents, or rather, I grew up here in Bullion Park. So I thought, hey, why not just show you guys around where I grew up in, and also later I will show you around the Lentor neighborhood to understand the progress of construction. And you'll be surprised that a lot of the things are up already. So just in case you are someone who stays in the south, the east, the west, or even Malaysia or overseas, and you bought a Lentor property, I think this video today, here as of 28th of August, 3 p.m, I will be showing you exactly what's going on with the Lentor neighborhood itself. And like I said, for context, I grew up in Bullion Park. I stayed here for almost 27 years. So every time I hear people talking nonsense about Lentor, Lentor very far, Lentor very this, Lentor very that, very ulu I'm like, okay, fair. I also agree it's not that accessible. But now things has changed. And change it has for the better now. So as I mentioned, I'll walk you guys through around Bullion Park, where I grew up in. Then we'll take a slow walk towards the Lentor development itself to understand the progress. So in today's episode of Walking With Me at Lentor, here we go. Feels so good. I feel good. So what can I say about Bullion Park? Of course, I say all the good stuff Bullion Park. Right? It's one of the largest development in and around this side of Singapore, or rather the Lentor area. Of course, can I compete with the newer Lentor projects? Of course cannot lah. Things here are a little bit older. But because it's older, it belongs to this kind of category last time where you can say it's like 80-20. A lot of agents have to say, what's 80-20? 80% of the development is dedicated to the facilities and landscape. Then the other 20% is for residential footfall. Of course, it's back in the time where developers are not so crazy about maximizing GFA. So normally, older developments, you got very nice landscaping and land size to really run around. Of course, I have stayed here for majority of my life. How many years exact? I think it's about 26, 27 years of my life. I moved in here in 1992, one of the first few batch here, of course, in my family. And I only moved out after I got married. And definitely a lot of people were laughing at us, say, hey, walao, hey, where's this Bullion Park? So ulu. Which part of Lentor? Where's Lentor? A lot of people don't know one, right? So I guess everyone is now saying, hey, which is the next Lentor? Lentor's upcoming development. Obviously, we're having a last laugh now. So amazing. I totally enjoy the facilities. Every weekend, I bring my kids back to my parents' place for them to run around here. Of course, have some swimming lessons here and there. Every now and then when I come back, it always feels home to me. If my parents, of course, I hope my parents are not watching this video. If they're watching this video, that means the algorithm is not working well. Anyway, even if this development goes en bloc, and my parents ask me, hey Clinton, how? Should we let go? I think for us, it will be a case of why sell? Because if you sell already, you really cannot find something like this. Which is the biggest problem for all those kind of older freehold development.
a lot of owners will be like, hey, such a nice development with such nice landscaping. There's a very mature community within the development itself. I still see a lot of first-time neighbors here staying for like 20, 30 years already. You want them to sell, where do they go? So it's like, you want to go to Lentor, you sell here, let's say a 3-bedroom around $2 million. You go Lentor, can't even buy a 3-compact unit, so sell for what? So for those who are looking at Bullion Park for en bloc potential, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. For someone who is looking at a development at such magnitude, right? Such huge land size, such amazing facilities, such amazing openness, then of course Bullion Park is the opposite of what Lentor is. Of course, Lentor, as I mentioned, it's very convenient, you got all the malls, everything, but you know, there's a certain group of people who will not buy the newer ones. Of course, equally, there's a certain group of people who will not buy Bullion Park, but Bullion Park will attract, I would say, those 40, 50 years old, 60 years old landed downgraders or older generation who really value space, grounds more than all this convenience. And then, of course, are we much more accessible? Actually, the answer is no. I feel that we are still quite inaccessible. If I walk up from the front entrance, if I turn right, I walk straight down, there's still no connected pavement or driveway towards the Lentor Modern itself, which is where the MRT and shopping mall is. So if I were to walk out, I think easily is another 10 to 15 minutes. So is it that accessible? Answer is no. But is it definitely much better than going so far away for a shopping mall? Yes. Lentor Modern is going to be up and running. I'll show you guys in a bit. But then again, if you, let's say, don't drive, then actually the back door, which what I have been doing for, as I mentioned, most of my childhood years or growing up years, I would just take the bus going up north towards Khatib, take any of the bus, I think it's like 6 or 7 buses, or take down southwards towards Yio Chu Kang MRT where Nanyang Poly was, and that's where, of course, I was studying previously. Then actually it's also well connected. Just that now, of course, we got Lentor MRT. It makes things much easier. Even for our parents, our family, we're very excited for Lentor Modern to be up and running because then we can go there beyond just going 6 to 8 market because this neighborhood at the moment, there's really not much places for us to have our dinner. So I think Lentor Modern is really a good addition to the neighborhood itself. You see, you have full facilities. Of course, the swimming pool, olden days, they don't build you lap pools. This swimming pool a bit curvy, but I still did my fair share of swimming here. I think it's not exactly 50 meters, probably like 40, but it's a bit curvy. On the weekends, you got kids swimming here and there, cutting across can be a bit annoying, but other than that, I think what more can you ask for, right? And then you got one mama shop downstairs. It has changed a couple of times over the years, but that's where we get our simple stuff. Right? Now, of course, you have the pond area, nice barbecue pits, tennis court. Olden days, you have squash court, multi-purpose court, basketball court. Of course, the parking is not basement car park, it's a bit like non-sheltered. We consider this a non-sheltered. I mean, it's a bit sheltered, but still considered non-sheltered. But it's more than enough car park. Now, coming to the views on the higher floors facing towards the north, you get views, unblocked views on the higher floor if you're overlooking towards the reservoir. It's quite nice. Then some units are overlooking the landed properties. On the southern side, of course, you can see Lentor Modern and Lentor New Township at a distance. The sizes here are also quite sizable, 1,200 square feet, no balcony space. That's the only sad part. Bullion Park got no balcony space. But other than that, again, would I want to come here? If my wife is watching this, then yes, I would want to come back here because there's so much memories here. But of course, kids' school, there's a myriad of factors preventing us from coming back here. But yes, in a heartbeat, I will come back here, buy a 3-bedroom, comfortable space. Why not? Ultimately, Bullion Park is really for someone who appreciates the land size, the facilities, the setup. Of course, things are a little bit older. You need to spend like easily 100–150K to renovate an original house. But beyond that, the kids' experience, going downstairs, you have a nice community. Every now and then you have some events here and there. Yeah, if you're someone looking for this sort of lifestyle, then of course, Bullion Park is for you. Alright, so we are here at Lentor Modern. As you can see, it's already chichi-papa, 70–80%, almost completed already. Now, even the mall directories are already out already. I think right now they are still finalizing a few, I heard. You have like the likes of Chuggy, for those of you who are obsessed with the milk tea. Then you also have supermarket like CS Fresh. For those of you who knows me very well, you know I'm a huge fan of Toast Box. At the moment, I don't think there will be a Toast Box here. Fingers crossed, I hope they still have a Toast Box because there's a QPE and Tarts inside. So I reckon there's not going to be that many shops that's kind of selling the same thing. So QPE and Tarts confirmed inside already. You also have the likes of Nanyang Tao, which is an upcoming kind of eatery that resembles those of or rather those in JB. Then you have the usual stuff, the kids' play area, the kids' educational stuff. Food court, a lot of people asking whether have or not. I don't think at this point in time they have it. I believe they will have it, but maybe they just haven't announced yet. So if you look at the directory, probably 60–70% of shops are already confirmed. So we are very excited. Food, now in terms of variety, I think there's a Chew Kit chicken rice. I never heard before of Chew Kit chicken rice. Anybody? And then you also have Hans. So finally, of course, this side of the Lentor Modern itself, you can see houses here that looks like it's so accessible upwards towards the MRT and the shopping mall. But I can tell you guys, they have suffered for many years. So I think as long as probably 11 to 12 years already, because last time when MRT was building and they cleared this piece of land, it was a lot of noise, a lot of dust. Then once that was done, then all these developments start to build up. I can tell you they suffered for very long, but looks who's going to enjoy this convenience. Congratulations to them. So again, this is the road leading up to Lentor Central itself, the road, and of course Lentor Modern. I'm going to park my car here a while. Hope no one sabo me. So going to the MRT, and I'm going to show you guys the rest of the Lentor projects. But we'll head first, as you can see, Thomson Grove. Same thing lah, Thomson Grove also very tough, meh. Like so many years of suffering through MRT construction, then all this new township. Even until now, I'm still pretty sure a lot of owners are going crazy over the dust that's being accumulated from all the construction. I mean, they are enjoying this convenience at the moment lah. Thomson Grove is even older than Bullion Park. I know the space inside is amazing, even much larger, got balcony, got everything. So again, for those who love space, then Thomson Grove gives you probably twice the size of Bullion Park. And then you got MRT and shopping mall right in front, super convenient, on-block potential, I don't know. So I'm walking towards the side of Lentor Modern itself, going towards the stretch of road that leads towards Lentor Hills, Hillock, and of course the future plot of land that's coming up probably in the next 2–3 years or so. Oh, of course, yeah, Lentor Central, sorry. So yeah, making my way. As you can see, most of the shops, like I said, looks like it's ready, just waiting for developers to issue TOP. See, not bad, quite nice, quite airy. Guacoland project. Of course, Guacoland will always deliver. Nowadays, everyone is excited over Guacoland's projects. Quite open, quite airy. Looks like a nice area for people to really bring their kids for a short walk. See, it looks really like all the workers are doing OT. A lot of stuff are already up, signboards are up already. Signboards in terms of directions here and there, even including this pavement. Again, it's cornered off, so I can't go in. But you can imagine this is really got a TOP sooner. Of course, most of the developments here are already like 85–90% sold out. So you want to buy something, so you have nothing. That's why I believe the next Lentor Gardens unit by Kingsford should be sold out relatively fast. Of course, the last piece of land that's coming, I believe it's last piece lah. The last piece that's coming up probably for sale next year. What price? I think maybe 900–950 per square foot per plot ratio. That is actually very convenient also. I think that also will sell out because the Lentor here really, we're entering the sub-sale category already, sub-sale stage already. See, I'm standing in front of Lentor Modern. You guys smile. Looks like any time now. Again, I kind of chose the wrong day to do this walkthrough because it's like freaking hot again. The last time I did that, I tell you, I almost dehydrated for the whole afternoon. But for content, let's do this. Thankfully, Lentor, the whole area neighborhood, is still not so big to cover as compared to Tanjung Ru. But can you check this out? Okay, so second development here. Come, let's guess what this development is. Come on, I'll give you some hint. This is the first HDB BTO project in Lentor. Okay, this is my perspective and opinion. This doesn't represent that or prop next, guys. Don't be so sensitive. But yeah, I personally feel that Lentor Hills resembles that of a HDB project. Yeah, I say it 100% sold out already, so I can say it. I mean, some owners, like I said, don't be so triggered, but it is what it is. Maybe it's because of the color, I guess. Brown color, then the top, a big cream color. Then on top, in the middle, you got this sky terrace, which is like 60–70% of the HDBs nowadays, right? I mean, don't you think so? Yeah, like if you drive to Marsiling, there's a bunch of new HDB that just TOP. It looks like that. No offense, okay? Don't be too triggered. So over here, right across, sorry, it's a bit noisy. They're fumigating and there's a lot of trucks driving past. So you can see this is, what is this? I guess Hillock lah. Hillock looks like another 1.5 years lah. 6 months later than Lentor Hills. Then of course on the right hand side there is Lentor Central, still nothing much up. Then at the corner, 角落头 is the new GLS that is coming up. But yeah, this is Hillock, progressing well. But plus minus 1.5 years more. Looks like. This is the linear park. I don't want to go through the linear park leading up to the park itself. But the park like still chui leh. It's like, they say it won't be like that but it still looks very bushy. So I'm not too sure when M Parks is going to do it or it's going to stay like this. But you can see the linear park is already obviously taking shape. There's a pavement coming up. I'm not going to walk through again. Seems quite dangerous. But what's going on in the parks, man? Anybody can enlighten me? Is it going to stay like this? Or are they going to clean it up? Yeah, what's going on? Of course, Lentor Hills, it's 1 km within St. Nicholas Girls' School and Anderson Primary School. Hello, fellow Anderson Primary School people. I'm ex-Anderson, first batch of Primary 6 pupil. I think in year 2000, I think. So shout out to all the ex-Anderson peeps. Of course, you have Lentor Mansion over here for those who are unfamiliar. Lentor Mansion, Lentor Hills, Lentoria are all 1 km within St. Nick's. The rest are only 1 km to Anderson Primary School. I mean, for Hillock owners, you are overlooking a HDB. Other than that, okay what? Okay, don't kill me. Okay, so this is the Guacaland show flat of Lentor Modern and Lentor Mansion. And what's this? See, this is going to be Faber Walk, Faber Residences. So for those of you who are staying in the west, unfortunately, you have to come all the way to the north here to visit the show flat. Haha! So for show flat visits, it's going to be easy for me. I'm just going to park my car in my parents' place and walk over. But yes, guys, this is Faber Walk's show flat venue. A bit far lah, for those staying in the west, come here all the way. Shack. Yep. This is the show flat. Okay, I hide under the shade a while as we make our way towards Lentoria. And then we'll see Lentor Mansion. But yeah, wow. I'll show you all. See, they are renovating the show flat itself. Very far, very far. Good luck to those staying in the west coming here. You will appreciate Lentor. Fun fact, when my wife actually got her Pine Tree unit, we were considering between Lentor Hills, Grand Diamond and Pine Tree. Of course, I narrowed down only Pine Tree and Grand Diamond because when I first stepped into the show flat of Lentor Hills, like I said, it's really so all so I guess the only people who came after me is the owners. My first impression is really 真的很像 HDB So then I should just exit and then concluded that it's going to be either Pine Tree or Grand Diamond. But anyway, moving on. And then on the left hand side here, you have all the show flats for Lentor Central. Here used to sit the Lentor Hills Residences show flat, gone already. Lentoria. Of course, this plot of land is still subject to detailed planning. I'm not too sure what they're going to do over here. I honestly don't think government is really going to go ahead and push up another 2 to 3 more development, but who knows, right? I don't think so. Otherwise, here will really have a serious overcrowding issue. This is Lentoria. This looks like halfway through. Should be approximately, my guess, 2 years from now, which is like 2027, maybe third quarter. Yeah, maybe slightly a bit earlier, but around there. Lentoria, the one that a lot of people find it the hardest to sell. If you know it, you know it. So I'm walking ahead towards Lentor Mansion. Look how fast they are building. This one looks faster than Hillock. And on par with Lentor Hills Residences, this Lentor Mansion, which was launched in 2024 March or I think 2024 March or April. 1 year on, 1.5 years already, macam like it's about 1 year away. So I think, based on my experience, given how quickly they are building this, I won't be surprised it's going to TOP about 1 year or, okay, don't say years say 15 months time. I think 15 months possible. The whole structure, the framework is already up already. So for those on the lower floor, I think you're already starting to pay your maybe stage 3 or 4 already, which is like the walls, very fast. Then for those of you guys who don't know what you're bought and don't know what kind of facing you are going to be getting, this is the landed properties opposite the teacher estate, Munshi Abdullah area. That, of course, on the mid floor here, 6th, 7th floor, you have unblocked view of the landed properties. In the future, will they develop this development? Maybe even they redevelop it's also like maybe 3-4 stories because the block ratio is a bit lower. So the views here are pretty unblocked. Just that for some of you, you all know the afternoon sun, it's on the right hand side, can be a bit annoying. At the entrance of Lentor Mansion, as you can see, the main entrance, I think the shade is still not up yet, but they are really building very fast. So I haven't learned from my past experience. The time I almost dehydrated because I never bring water. Now also I never going to bring water again. But like I said, thankfully, not so much space to cover. Wow, the weather today is really very hot. Nowadays, the weather is either super hot or super thundery showers, very extreme. Now, as I walk down towards the end, I'm going to show you guys, if I can, the last plot of land at the edge of Lentor Gardens, recently won by Kingsford. They bought it about 900 odd per square foot per plot ratio. I can't remember exactly how much. Don't expect the price to be cheap. Like I said again, if you know it, you know it. This is the plot of land. It's still not cordoned off yet. Still quite empty, so I guess they're preparing. Yeah, so this is the plot of land. So I've come to the end of the roundabout area, which is the dead end. Then the opposite side is where the Targo Industrial is. Now, a bit of history here for those of you who don't understand Lentor. I always think Lentor very ulu. Correct lah, it's really quite ulu. But for the longest time, this used to be a jungle, right? So I guess the purpose of creating, or rather freeing up this so-called jungle, is because this whole Thomson Eastern Line, I think Lentor is the only spot that you have so much empty space, aside from Springleaf, that allows you to build a new township. So as you can see behind, this is the hill. Behind is actually the park. Then behind me is Targo itself. It's actually very near now. So I'm not too sure next time whether you can cut across or not, but that's how close we are to Targo actually. So we have come to the end of the second episode of Walking With Me at Lentor. As a fellow resident, or rather Lentor resident for many years, what can I say? Of course, a lot of things has changed over the years since I moved in and I moved out. From a jungle, transforming all the way to a brand new township like what it is at the moment. 70–80% of developments are already up there, almost hitting completion soon. First wave, of course, I believe Lentor Modern owners, congratulations. I think you guys are going to get your keys in about, I don't know, maybe 1–2 months or maybe a couple of weeks, who knows. Then after that, it's going to be Lentor Hills and Lentor Mansion, followed by Hillock, Lentoria, probably the Kingsford, and then the last piece of land just beside. But again, I speak as a Lentor resident at heart. My heart still is here. That I think or rather, I appeal to the government, just stop a while. Right? There's a lot of lands here already. Let this neighborhood enjoy what it has. And then in the future, when you want to build or rather sell more lands, then you just do it in time to come. And for those of you guys, of course, who have been very curious to understand what's the progress like, I hope this video serves you guys well. If you have any other areas that you want me to walk with you guys, to give you a little bit of explanation about history of the neighborhood, just drop your comments below. And of course, please like and subscribe. It's a hot and sunny day. All this content we are doing is free. I mean, free for you guys. But of course, what we appreciate is a like, subscribe, and share. And until our next video, or rather our next walkthrough video where I'll bring you to another neighborhood, this is Clinton at Pocket View signing out.